Kill them. Don't give them health care. Nobody cares.
Alex Jones and the GCN
Gun owners,
Radio
veterans,
Network.
Christians are the enemy. We are the listed enemy.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million year old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
I was just mentioning how gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, veterans are the trash to be taken out by the globalists. We are the enemy. We are hated. We better get together. We better stand together. WorldNet Daily has an article, and this is what happens to former Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs. More than 15 times, he told me, until he just stopped going. He's been here a year now, and Joe Biggs has shrapnel, bullet wounds, you name it, highly decorated. He tries to go into the VA, coughing up blood, and just over and over and over again, they just keep saying, get this paperwork, get that paperwork. He comes back each time. They say, come back next week. He's on a no-treat list. And, of course, that came out last year that, indeed, they have that for about a third of the vets. Well, VA makes vet-proof leg amputation with X-ray. A former 75th Ranger Regiment soldier who lost his leg during military service described the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs as so inept and bureaucratic that the medical official at one affiliated facility insisted on an X-ray of his artificial limb as proof of his amputation, instead of just looking at it and having it in the records. That's just how they deny the care. They just keep saying, we don't have the records. Veteran Chad Fleming told Glenn Beck that the VA opted against reviewing his medical history. That's what they do. They just won't even review it. Or simply having an official look at the space on his body where his legs should have been in favor of taking a costly x-ray of the limb that doesn't exist, he said. And again, that's how they mess with you. And they make you do blood test after blood test after blood test, or they'll say, oh, you want us to look at why you're coughing up blood? We're going to do a colonoscopy. You come back next week, we're going to do another colonoscopy. Come back again, they go, we're doing it again. You go, you just did it, and you go, we don't have those records. Or we got to give you all your vaccines. You just gave them to me last week. Do it again. They just laugh at you. It's all a big sick joke. Or they just give you bags of drugs. Here, take this. You like drugs, don't you? The doctor actually laughed, Fleming said, the news site reported. And I told him, I said, you wonder why this country is in such a deficit? It's because you're wasting money taking x-rays of a leg that doesn't exist. It's like, dude, I'm not a starfish. It isn't going to grow back. The VA has faced considerable fire for providing inadequate services to veterans and delaying necessary medical treatment on purpose to meet budgets. They haven't been accused. They have the Watson computers from IBM denying the care. It came out. People blew the whistle and it got whitewashed. This is the criminal government we have running things. They've got plenty of money to take care of people, folks. They will give you the runaround forever. Now the Pentagon can't account for $45 billion it spent in Afghanistan, being paid to contractors. It's a giant scam. You ask why we don't win wars? Because we're not designed to win. They're designed to go on and on and on as a big black hole to pour money into since the day of Vietnam. It was always about money making. Smedley Butler, two-time Congressional Medal of Honor winner, exposed that. Commandant of the Marine Corps. Or he was up to be commandant and then wouldn't go along with the coup d'etat. But since Vietnam, where they wouldn't let them mine the northern harbors, wouldn't let them bomb the factories, wouldn't let them bomb the Russian ships coming in with the weapons, and the Chinese ships, wouldn't let them torpedo them, because they wanted it to go on and on and on and on and on to sit on top of the opium and ship it out and make billions of dollars a month in contracts. LBJ went from being worth a few $1 million. He got in Congress with nothing. He was worth a few $1 million when Vietnam started. He was worth billions by the end of it.
You mean his wife was as well?
Yes, his wife was as well, absolutely. I mean, these people are sick. They are absolutely sick. Good point, CJ. I mean, the Johnsons still own about a third of the buildings downtown. It makes me want to throw up. Absolutely makes me want to throw up. They wanted to put my show on 590 AM years ago when they still owned it, KLBJ. And they said, nope, it's come down from the family that we're not going to pick your show up. I've actually had the Johnsons try to keep me off radio stations. What a group of crooks. All right, I don't mean to digress off into that. Kansas will allow concealed carry of guns without a permit. That's certainly good news. Reuters. Kansas residents will be allowed to carry concealed weapons in the state without training or a permit starting July under a bill signed into law. It's just the Vermont open carry, folks. Thursday by Governor Sam Brownback. Good job, Sam. Said the new law will protect the rights of gun owners while opponents of the measure poses safety risk. Reasonable gun owners, ladies and gentlemen, reasonable gun ownership for protection in sport is a right inherent in our Constitution, Brownback said in a statement. Alaska, Vermont, Arizona, Arkansas, Wyoming have similar laws, and Texas is set to try to pass it as well. So great job, Kansas. Crime rates have dropped everywhere it happens. Criminals don't follow the law. They're going to get guns and commit crimes. More guns on the street means less crime. That's in major studies by Professor Lott and others. We ought to get Professor Lott back on the show. He hadn't probably been on in like 6-7 years. And what did the head of Interpol say? Arm the general public. It was one British commando off duty, licensed to carry firearms at that mall 2 years ago that cut the number of deaths that's estimated by the Kenyan government in half. One guy with a firearm held him down so the massacre could stop, so they could surround him and then take him out. Imagine I mean, I guarantee you, if you had 5 or 6 jihadis, it was 4, did this yesterday in Kenya. 4 guys try to come into a university that had guns, it'd be over. But see, they know universities are gun-free areas. They always attack gun-free areas. Well, Kenya's a gun-free country. And now their government's calling for more police. No, the answer is not more police. Unless it was police training citizens how to use guns and creating a posse. That's all that is civil defense, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't trust the pilots to fly the planes and the good citizens with no criminal record to own guns, then you don't have a country. Then you turn everything loose to criminals. Now, I want to get into the Iran situation now. I've been trying to read over the agreement. It looks like it's got a bunch of gray areas. And quite frankly, it is a victory for Iran. It will allow them to develop peaceful reactors. It will allow them to develop the oil refineries they need to become energy sufficient. If Iran doesn't go the way of war, this will allow them to become a first world nation. The globalists don't want that. So I don't know why they've done this deal. I talked to the owner of a security company in Los Angeles, who's a former highly decorated Israeli commando this weekend when I was out in Los Angeles. And he agreed with me that this is all a bait and switch, some type of screw job, and that the Israeli government is in on it with the U.S. and Iran, and that it's more sophisticated than we're being told. Don't forget, Israel was involved in Iran-Contra, doing backroom deals with Iran while acting like they were their enemy in 1980. So we don't know what's really going on. And quite frankly, this is so foggy, I don't know what to make of it. But joyful Iranians dance into the night after nuclear breakthrough. AFP, Iran world powers reach initial deal on reining in Tehran's nuclear program. It will put cameras in the reactors and inspectors. Obama, tentative Iran nuclear deal, best option for Israel. Here's the deal. Pakistan, it's well known, a decade ago, transferred nukes to Saudi Arabia. And Iran reportedly has been getting what it needs from Russia. And so that's why it's kind of a stalemate. Obama says tentative Iran nuke deal, best option for Israel. You know what, Obama? Here's the deal. I'm not against Israel, but I'm sick of hearing about Israel interest. How about what's best for U.S. national security? How about you be the president of the U.S.? No, you're a globalist selling the country out. And this whole Iran thing's a distraction while our borders are wide open and our economy goes into free fall. We'll get to that in a moment. Politico actually has a pretty good article, The Gray Areas in the Iran Deal, how a pre-dawn meeting in Switzerland produced one of the Iran's deals, has many fuzzy areas. Yeah, it's like Obamacare. It's a blank check for both sides. It's just kind of kick the can down the road. Netanyahu sends a very blunt message to Obama following announcement on Iran deal. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu sent a very blunt message to Obama today following an announcement of a tentative deal with Iran aimed at curbing the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. We're going to get to what he had to say in a moment. But first, here's an excerpt of Obama's speech as posted at USA Today. Here it is.
Today, the United States, together with our allies and partners, has reached a historic understanding with Iran, which, if fully implemented, will prevent it from obtaining a nuclear weapon. This has been a long time coming. The Islamic Republic of Iran has been advancing its nuclear program for decades. Today, after many months of tough, principled diplomacy, we have achieved the framework for that deal. And it is a good deal, a deal that meets our core objectives.
So is Obamacare?
This framework would cut off every pathway that Iran could take to develop a nuclear weapon. So this deal is not based on trust. It's based on unprecedented verification. Many key details will be finalized over the next 3 months. And nothing is agreed to until everything is agreed.
Yeah, it's kind of like the FCC deal. You can't see it.
But here are the basic outlines of the deal that we are working to finalize. First, Iran will not be able to pursue a bomb using plutonium because it will not develop weapons-grade plutonium. The core of its reactor at Arak will be dismantled and replaced. The spent fuel from that facility will be shipped out of Iran for the life of the reactor.